I don't remember last time I had a bad day. Joy just keep coming out from inside out. My dad woke up one morning, he said, God gave me a dream, God gave me a vision. I said, what is it? We're opening a restaurant. And this gentleman never cooked in his lifetime. He still doesn't know how to use a microwave. We met the Japanese guy from Japan, got to know him, and he just gave us $300,000 to start the business.
Wow.
Yeah, without contract, nothing. He said, pay me back when you can. Within 6 months, the bank called us that we're writing bad checks. A few years later, we lost everything again. I broke my ankle playing basketball, and I told my dad, I gotta go to the doctor. He said, where's the money coming from? I said, you gotta be kidding me. I told my dad, I think we're done. Maybe we should go back to Japan middle of the night. It wasn't a dream, it was a nightmare. He always told me that all these tall, great buildings, they have a deep foundation. If you want to build something amazing upon, you have to keep digging. From $300 sales, we did about 90-some million dollar sales. We have about 1,400 employees, 52 tons of seafood every month.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard about acquisition of Mikuni. He sent us offer that we couldn't refuse. Just to let you know, 85, April 2nd, our family came to the United States. I signed last April 2nd, which is 40 years exactly later. I'm in Japan signing the paper. Do you think it's my plan or that was his plan? I'm just a part of God's plan and small instrument. That's good enough for me.
Well, Taro, I really want to sincerely thank you. It's an honor for me to be sitting here with you to do
Thank
this
you.
podcast. And I also want to thank you for Mikuni, because this is a very special place that you created. I have some friends, when it comes to sushi, they don't want to go anywhere else but Mikuni. Mikuni
you
is
so
the
much.
place. A lot of people know you as the face of Mikuni. I follow you on social media and I've seen you around in other places, and it looks like you're always having fun.
Way too much fun, yes.
So am I right in that, or this is just something that
Yes.
you kind of want to show that?
I mean, I don't remember last time I had a bad day. Every day just, I don't know, joy just keep coming out from inside out. And everything I do, touch, see, eat, everything's fun and a blessing to me, yes.
That's amazing. So today I kind of want to dive into your success story. Maybe for those people who do not know your story, I know a little bit because I've heard you speak at the Jaro event. So how about we start with, where did you start? How did Mikuni come to be the place what it is right now? So just kind of more into the beginnings. People say humble beginnings.
Yeah.
So if you can go ahead and just kind
Sure.
of...
I mean, I can give you, let's say, 5 minutes version of it. But so I was a troubled kid in Japan. Couldn't follow the rules. And Japan's very nice. People are so nice, but everybody's by the book. I wasn't. So I started dreaming about coming to the United States. So I started doing the newspaper route and raised enough money to come to the United States from Japan. And my family wanted to come, but they didn't have money. But somehow, my dad has been a pastor all his life. We heard that Japanese church in Sacramento is looking for a Japanese-speaking pastor. So we're like, okay, maybe we just go Sacramento all together. And I ended up paying for whole family's airplane tickets, and we moved straight to Sacramento.
How old were you?
I was 15.
You were 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that for like 5 years, since 11 to 15, doing the newspaper route because I just couldn't be in Japan, And only problem was only 3 members at the church who speaks Japanese. We call Issei, which is first generation Japanese. And they were like 88, 91, and 101-year-old, right? So they paid my dad $450 a month. This is back in 85.
Okay.
Miracle happened because we got a green card within a month because of the church.
Wow.
But we knew we couldn't survive with $450 a month. So I did a newspaper route again, collecting cans, cardboards. I used to sell futons, because we didn't know English, we didn't know anybody, and we had no money. So we had to do whatever we can. My sister and my mom did housework, babysitting, whatever we can find. And my dad, he was a pastor, yet he looked for a job everywhere, McDonald's, but nobody wants to hire him because he had no, experience or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kept praying about it. And then when I was 17, my dad woke up one morning. He said, God gave me a dream. God gave me a vision. I said, what is it? We're opening a restaurant. And this gentleman never cooked in his lifetime. He still doesn't know how to use a microwave. He doesn't know how to make teas. He's the one is telling us we're opening a restaurant. So I asked him, what's a business concept, business plan? What do you have? He said, he's got nothing. And we had no money. I said, I don't think it's going to happen, Dad. And my dad kept telling us it will happen because God gave me a clear vision. And we met, make it shorter, we met the Japanese guy from Japan, got to know him, and he just gave us $300,000 to start the business.
Wow.
Yeah, without contract, nothing. He said, pay me back when you can. I was only 17 and we had no idea. And in high school, somebody, I still don't remember, it bugs me, but somebody said, hey, if you don't understand, just say no problem. So, okay, I can say that. Who's your favorite teacher? No problem. So I kept saying that and then take it to the business too. People say, this hood is $50,000. I said, no problem. I kept writing checks, and within 6 months, bank called us that we're writing bad checks because we had no money already. So I told my dad, I think we're out of business. We can't move on with it. But he's a very stubborn. Once he decides something, he has to keep going. And I called the doctor who gave us some money in Japan. We failed. What do I do? And he sent us another $100,000. Yeah, a few years later, we lost everything again. That's where I was about 21. We couldn't buy any fish because no vendor wants to work with us if you don't pay after 120 days. And 6 months we are behind on rent and lease. I told my dad, I think we're done. Maybe we should go back to Japan middle of the night. It wasn't a dream. It was a nightmare, I believed, But he kept saying, keep digging deeper. I said, how deep we have to dig ourselves in. But he always told me that all these tall, great buildings, they have a deep foundation. If you're going to build something amazing upon, you have to keep digging, right? And he said, I wasn't smart to start with, but he said, you got to quit school. I said, Asian parents never ask your kids to quit school, but you need to be there 7:30 in the morning till midnight every day so we can keep going. I said, okay. So I had to quit school. What else? I mean, I broke my ankle playing basketball, and I told, lunch break, and I told my dad, I got to go to the doctor. He said, where's the money coming from? I said, you got to be kidding me. And then I cut my finger wide open, having an ulcer as a 21-year-old kid. I said, Dad, we should just close it, But he said two things. He said, it's not about what you know, but who you know. He said, just get to know everybody. You have to know Jesus to go to heaven. Get to know everyone. So I started talking to every customer with my broken English. And then I can't believe how much they helped us. It's unbelievable. But second thing he said was, you just have to do your best and let God do the rest. My best was horrible. My sushi was, I bought the book called Sushi for Dummies. And anything I did, I wasn't really doing anything good. But I told my dad, I can only do my best. If it doesn't work out, can I blame upstairs? My dad said, do it. So since then, I changed my whole attitude toward work and life. Like I said, I don't have bad days since because I think I'm doing my best. according maybe compared to others may not be good, but I can only do my best. And God has been so merciful and graceful, and I'm here. And meanwhile, my dad kept telling me God is going to bless us, and he was offering $500 a month, and he was getting $450 from church, and he had to borrow money from me to give offering to church. I said, that's not 10%, that's more than 100%. But my dad said, you know what, son, I made a deal with God. If I keep raising my offering, God promised me he's going to bless us, right? And then when I had a second baby, my dad said, I had a dream again. I said, no, please don't. But he said, I'm going to name your daughter Chio, mean 1,000 sheep. I said, why? To my daughter, I had a dream. We're going to have 1,000 customers a day. I said, Dad, we can fit 30 people in here. My goal is 30 people a day, $300 sales a day. That's my goal. He said, oh, God is capable. God is more than capable. And as soon as he said the yoga shop next door closed down, video store closed down, haircut closed down, my dad said, let's expand. So we did. And then the donut shop we had the other side, we asked them, can you move to the other building? So we took over that too. And started having 1,000 customers on weekends. And as you know, 99, 2003, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 15, 16, we kept opening more stores. And now, family of 5, we have about 1,400 employees. Wow. From $300 sales, we did about 90-some $1 million sales. And, for a while, we had no fish, but we used 52 tons of seafood every month.
Every month.
Thank God for the big ocean. So, but God, my dad always said, be humble, get back to God, get back to the community. So, I'm living an American dream yet. I've not done anything. I just make sushi, have fun every day. And this community and God did everything else. So I wanted to give back. So I told my family, we got to do something. And I did basketball tournament, tennis tournament. I love sports. I did everything. It's so hard to raise money. Somebody said 31 years ago, why don't you do golf? I said, well, I never played golf before. But why not? So we had about 50 people. And first time I ever played, I was playing, hitting everywhere. They laughed at me and raised money. I said, wow, this is easy. Just get laughed at and raise money. So since then, I do that every year. Second year, $1,700. And somebody said, I'll match it. Third one was $10,000. Fourth one was $15,000. And then by the time fifth one, $50,000. Now we're at a 31st, just had it 2 weeks ago. We're over $4.5 million raised just from the golf tournament.
Just from the golf tournament.
Yeah. So,
and what do you guys raise money for?
Oh, there's so many varieties things. Of course, missionaries too, and breast cancer, we raised $1 million. All the Children Cancer Center. Oh, we have so many lists, and we can't. So, my title is CDO, Chief Dreaming Officer. So I get to dream all I want for free. So why not dream big, right? So I told my team, why not we go to $7 million and maybe get to $10 million in, donation. I think we can get there for sure. And also, meanwhile, tsunami happened in Japan. That was very personal to me. So we created the rescue rolls. Why not we sell these rolls? 100% of the sales goes to Japan. And Bayside Church, all these people just came and did a party with us and bought all these rolls, and we raised $180,000 for Japan. So since then, all the big disaster, they ask us to do it. So like Houston flood, 50,000, Paradise Fire, 75,000. Even like Maui Fire, I didn't have to tell anybody. People start emailing me, are you doing the rescue rolls? I said, I guess we are. In 2 weeks, we raised another $100,000.
Wow.
So every opportunity like this I have, I just want to thank, of course, God, but, people in the community, they're the one helping us to do amazing things. Thank you for this chance to say that too.
I think people open up because they see, the people who are involved in what they're doing, and they believe in people, because raising money can be very, very difficult and depends on your motives, how you do it, what kind of energy you put out. So I think people are very generous, they're open, but especially they do that when they see that they believe in the people who are doing this. So wow, my hats goes off to what you guys are doing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, God gave us an amazing team too. Like, one time I had a Japanese journalist about business came and interview me, right? They said, which school did you graduate? What's the degree? I said, well, sociology from Mikuni University, right? They asked me all these questions. What's your strength? And I couldn't find anything because I'm not that good at math or numbers or administration, nothing. So I said, maybe one thing I can say is delegation. I delegate to people around me who are smarter and more disciplined in anything they do. And yeah, that's why I thank God for not giving me talents or something that I can be proud of.
Mm,
Because I don't have anything, I can depend 100% to God, and I can trust people around me that help me so much. So
that's
I
that
don't know how to
it,
explain it, but
it's an amazing story. And what I take from that is that, your father, he had faith. He had that faith, that what the vision that he had, that is going to come to fruition. Um, but also in business, there are other things I think that are also important to become successful. Besides the faith, let's say, what do you think are the other maybe character traits or attributes that help you guys become successful?
I mean, one thing we my dad was never give up, right? Anything happens to us, all these sufferings can build good character and, you know, I mean, patient, the good character, the hope, right? So he said, anything comes our way, you should be thankful. Take as a challenges. It's not a problem. Challenges, you can learn something from it. And from it, God can show what he can do for us. But one thing, I made a lot of mistakes. Please, I can write about all the mistakes, what I have done. One time, 2007, 8, we're doing so good. I don't want to name it, but I had a partner, and I kind of off the trail a little bit because everything was going so smooth. And 2008, we opened one in Denver. Spent a lot of money just for the designer. We spent like $300,000, and things that I don't need, I start having it. And 2008, 9, 10, I don't know if you remember,
Yes.
business went down,
Mm-hmm.
and we lost a lot of money, and we had about $11 million in debt, and then I have to buy partner out. We're about to file the bankruptcy. That's when I talked to my dad again. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. What do we do? And my dad kept saying, hey, it's time to dig again. And one thing he told me was, again, what we do our best, but you have to keep kaizen ourselves. Do you know the word kaizen?
No,
Mean continuous improvement, change for the better.
that's a Japanese word.
Yes. So kaizen. So he told me, let's keep kaizening, ing.
Mm,
I said, okay, I can do. It doesn't have to be big. Something small every day. Just make improvement on something, right? And then meanwhile, I learned so much going through another hard time. That was the best lesson I thought I would ever have in my life. Um, we changed the mission statement to the most loving and loved company in the world. Having good sushi is great, good building is great, fame is great, but it's about loving, God loving people. And then we want to be loved by them. So we changed the whole attitude toward business. And also Mikuni, Mikuni, we came up with the core values and motivate ourselves to do our best. And I inspire others. K, kaizen ourselves in every way. You united, Miku united. Mikuni means kingdom of God. Under God, we're one human race. So we have to be, love each other and help each other. And end as a never stop dreaming.
Mm.
And the last I is our mission statement: increase God's love, increase love between everyone. So that was an amazing lesson for me. So from then, we've been through ups and downs, but we're here right now.
Wow. That thing that you talked about, love. I, talked to a few business owners, very successful, and both of them were also talking about how important it is. You can go to a company, a business, and they have a wall and they write their values, right? Like integrity, whatever it is, right? But it's one thing to say or write what you stand for or what you want to stand for, but it's another to actually have it be the driver in the business, right? How do you guys, you said you have how many employees? 1,000?
Like 1,400 people.
1,400 people. How do you convey or make them also buy into these values?
That's not easy because we're all different from background, everything, For the Mikuni employees, we do encouragement video every month. I've been doing that for years now. Every month, I find some kind of topic, and then we can work on. They can watch as many times as possible. I have a little quiz on that too. And we have a general manager meeting. Actually, right now, 10 a.m., we're having it right now. And they get to voice it, and we have meeting with them. But yeah, I mean, it's not like one thing you do and then everything's gonna work out.
Yes.
It's every little things, every single moment, every chance we get, we have to keep communicating and show that we care, we love them. Love covers everything pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it says in the Bible.
Yes.
Speaking of people who are still trying to figure out their calling or their purpose in life, why do you think so many kind of struggle with that when they're trying to figure out what they want to do? I mean, right now there are so many distractions. You open social media app and you're always getting bombarded with certain messages like you should do this, Bitcoin this, invest in real estate, do all this. But young people, especially right now, there's so much noise out there. But if someone truly wants to find their calling, what do you think that process looks like?
Calling, yes. I mean, I always believe it's not my job or career. More I do it, I feel like this is my calling, right? And I don't know how I get there, but get here. That's a good question. How do you find calling? Like everything I do, I have to have a goal. To have a dream, you have to have a small goals, realistic goals, and bigger goals. So every year, I have new goals and something that I have to quit too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For example, I told my boys first. This is where I started when they're still small. I preach them to kaizen yourself. You have to do this. You have to do that. I gave them lectures, right? But I was thinking, how can I be a better father? So I asked them, can you give me a suggestion? I don't know the good thing. They kept writing and writing. I said, I don't need book, So I told my younger son, can you give me one thing that I can work on? And he said, well, why don't you follow your own advice? I said, whoa, like what? You told me don't text and drive. I see you doing this.
Oh.
Well, because I'm, talented, I'm very special. No, I told my boys, I'm sorry, from now on, I'm going to show with my actions, not just keep saying, talking, tell them what to do. So I told my wife too, how can I be a better human? She kept writing and writing. I said, can I start with one? She said, yeah, you love sharing. I said, I love sharing. But sometimes you're too straightforward, and maybe you can think before you speak. I said, oh, that's not nice. And then she said, well, there's THINK. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? K, is it kind? That year that my goal was to think before I speak, I couldn't speak anymore end of the year because every time I think it wasn't that important. And following year, what did I do? Oh yeah, I asked my wife, how can why am I the only one talking? Why don't you talk, right? She said, well, next year maybe you can work on to be a better listener. That was hard for me because I rather talk than listen, right? But I learned how to listen so I can listen to learn. That was a great lesson. So after that, humble servant, giving while living. Last year I'm not a really compassionate guy. I'm always so happy. I don't feel other people's feelings. Right? I can't because I'm too happy every day. If somebody say, oh, my dog is dying, I say, all right, time to get a new dog, right? But I shouldn't do that. So yeah, that was last year's goal, be more compassionate. And this year, my goal is to be a devoted prayer. I want to spend time with prayer in the beginning of the day without phone because every night I'm all the way till midnight checking emails and everything. As soon as I wake up, okay, what's going on, right? So in the morning, I don't touch the phone, devotion time and everything. That's what I'm doing every year. So that's kind of helped me to focus on what I have to do every year. At the same time, I apply that to work. What's my calling through this, right? So I don't know. A lot of people ask me, what's your meaning of success? I'm not a money guy. I'm not really, I don't really care about cars or nothing. I can't really, because everything I have right now I didn't bring it from when I was born, right? Everything is, to me, rental. So I want to give back to, or anybody can use whatever I have. That's how I feel. So I don't know, like business, success is, I want to do what God want me to do, God's will, right? So if everybody can do God's will, what He created for, I think that's a success. If that's a janitorial work, I love cleaning. If God told me to clean the restroom, that's your calling, I'm ready. So anything I do in the future, whatever He want me to do, I want to do it. That's why right now, focusing on my goals every year, every day, every moment of my life, that helped me to see what's my calling.
Probably too, there's some people who, when you look at them from outside, maybe you don't really know what's going on in their life. They seem like they're very successful in business, but they could be failing in other things. How are you able to be so involved in the business, multiple locations, 1,400 employees, but yet find time to raise a family and be there?
That's so important to me too. Like, I interview a lot of people, like successful people, right? When I was, getting there. And then I asked them, what successful means to you most of the time. And then a lot of people chase money, position, all this stuff, and their family is kind of all over, right? I mean, I see that, as a customer, as a friend, and even though you have everything in the world, you have no family, everything is all disaster. That's not successful to me. I was working so many hours. One time I went home. I think my first daughter was about 5 or 6. She told me, welcome to mama's home. I said, hey, I live here too. And she said, I never see you. That's hit me. Wow. I said, wow, what am I working hard for? I want to spend time with them. So even though I had a partner back then and criticized me for taking days off, I said, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm taking day off. I want to be with my family, I mean, of course, my wife was amazing. She did so much for us. But now all my 4 kids lives in 5 minutes radius. And every month we have a kind of like a Bible study gathering. One of those houses, they cook for us, and we get together. Now we have 4 grandchildren, fifth one coming in
Wow,
2 months.
congratulations.
Yeah, we're so close, and because we have a same goal, same purpose for this life, and that was so important. More, I'm sorry to say, but more important than business or anything else I have. And my oldest one is district manager now, and I'm hoping that he'll keep taking over business. My second one is like running the marketing.
Okay.
My number 3 and 4, they're outside of business,
Mm-hmm.
but one is financial advisor, watching everybody's money, 401k for our employees. My last one does real estate, so she's doing all the work for us
Okay.
too. Yeah, but like you said, I mean, one of the most important success is having a family with one purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so important to me.
Yeah. Do you think that it's possible to like chase your own ambitions and not be aligned with your calling, what you're supposed to do? Let's say like for those who believe um in God, that sometimes what you're chasing after, this is not meant for you. And you're wasting years trying to figure out. And because I know some people who've been chasing something for a very long time and it's just not working out. And then they're like, well, maybe I have this wrong. Maybe I don't know how to do marketing. Maybe I don't have a good sales guy. Maybe I'm not doing something right with my finances. But in reality, it's not, these two things are not aligned in life, and how important it is to have that alignment. um I don't know, for me, like, that's because I come from a Christian family. And one of the things that my parents always taught me is, they said, when you grow up, for us, it's not that important that you will be like financially set, that you're going to have so much money. Like, that's irrelevant. um what's important is for you to have a relationship with God
Yes,
and be aligned, like live like there's God has a will and a plan for you. Seek that. Whatever it is for you, seek that. Be able to want to know what it is. And if you are doing something that's not part of the plan, have the ability to shift, even though it may seem like you're walking away from something that's so great or a lot of money, but having the ability to do that.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, God's funds are better than ours. I know that too.
Another thing I noticed, a lot of people talk about having the right mindset, how important it is to have the right mindset. But for some people, when they hear the word mindset, they're like, oh, kind of, they reject that word because they attribute that to, like self-motivation and pumping yourself
Oh,
up, right? How important is mindset for you?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have really strength, and I told I was very short tempered back then. You can ask my family members. I used to throw sushi at my sister in front of the customer. Customer had to stop for a fight. Um, but one day, again, through Bible and everything, and I God reminded me, you cannot be that way, right? So my one of my first goal was to be happy as much as I can. I want to be the happiest guy, right? Now somebody cut me off on the freeway. I say, "Oh, thank you for not hitting me. I'm going to pray for you." I have changed so much. But meanwhile, there's a one lady from Facebook said, "I had a dream about you." I said, "Well, I'm married, right?" But she said, "No, no, no, not about that." And God gave me a Bible verse, Ephesians 3:16-19. And then she told me, "You have to be the most joyous." I said, "I'm already happy. What's the difference between them?" And then I don't know, somehow I got revealed me, happiness maybe changes by condition, everything. You have to choose to be happy. But if God gives me his joy from within, anything happening in the world around me, it doesn't affect my joy. It's
Mm.
crazy. I mean, joy just keep coming out. If I don't share like this, I feel like I'm gonna blow up every morning. And They say your cup is always half full. I say, you have no idea. I got a bucket and overflowing 24/7.
Wow.
That's how I feel like every morning when I wake up. I just can't stop, right? So that's why I think another calling I have right now is share my love and joy with everyone I meet. If I don't, I'm wasting all this
Wow.
joy, right?
That's amazing.
So I don't know. That's why it's not my mindset. I'm doing this because of that. I'm pretty weak guy. I'm not really disciplined. I don't know. I can't you can ask my wife. But I think from within joy and love just keep pouring. So if I want to love somebody, I want to be on time. If I respect others, I don't do things that I shouldn't. So it's a different order, not because of I have a good mindset. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. It's more like I want to love everybody. I don't want to do those things that I shouldn't. And I want to do things that I want to help others. So it's not like I'm doing everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just naturally it's
You
helping me to
you're
do
like
that.
becoming that vessel where you get that joy and then you share it, and because it
Yes.
overflows, it keeps on flowing into your life.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of
That's how I
sense.
feel like it.
So let's talk a little bit about sushi, right? Like the specific dish or whatever you can call it, sushi. Do you know like what is the origin of the actual sushi roll?
So in Japan, if I teach sociology class, I think I taught about 15,000 people by now.
Wow.
It's so fun. But if you study about sushi, I don't know how much you want to know about sushi. Sushi has, didn't start in Japan either.
No?
Everything, food in Japan, we got it from other countries.
Okay.
Yeah, like sushi. Okay, so let's say pot stickers were from China, tempura
Mhm.
from Portugal. Let's say sushi 280, China already had it. But if you go back further, Southeast Asia used to make it, and when they catch the fish, they put salt and rice, left it under the stone for 5 years. That's the traditional sushi.
Wow.
So if you come to me, hey, can I have traditional sushi? I would say, okay, what year is this? You got to come back within, in 5 years, right?
Oh, wow.
So this is my conclusion. It goes all the way back to Israel. That's where sushi started.
No way.
Well,
Wow.
because who can change, water to wine?
Oh.
Yes, I think he can make that 5-year process like that.
Oh.
So I always say, yeah, Jesus was the first sushi chef in the history of sushi. He could, made 5,000 men all these sushi. That was amazing. But anyway, yeah, that's why I love sushi, making sushi too. But by the time sushi came to the United States, like California rolls in the 60s, they don't have the same ingredients, so they have to be creative, right? When we opened the restaurant back in 87, nobody was eating sushi. I couldn't make even one friend to try. So a customer came in, they said, I hate fish, I hate sushi. I said, okay, what would you like? They said, well, I like hot dogs. No problem. I went to the liquor store, got a hot dog, and made hot dog rolls, and I served ketchup and mustard with it, right? And then one guy said, I like hamburgers. No problem. I got a meat, put the miso in it. I made a miso happy burger roll. That was actually pretty good though.
Wow.
And then the people came in. I can only eat shrimp tempura. I said, no problem. I made a roll called Fair Oaks roll because first location was in Fair Oaks. And that took off. I'm like, all right, let's keep creating new rolls. And lady said, my name is Marilyn. I like this, 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 this. I made a Marilyn Monroe and kept making. We had 300 different type of rolls back then. We had a secret menu for all the customers, and those customers brought their family and friends to try their rolls, right? So that's how kind of sushi bar started growing too.
Wow. So what makes Mikuni sushi so good? Is it the ingredients or the way it's made, the sauces?
Well, I mean, back then I had no rules. Sushi has very, very strict rules.
Okay.
You can't do this, you can't do that. And then, we're talking about Edo style, which is like nigiri, rice and fish on top and stuff. So for me to start using all the sauces, like tempura things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big no-no back in the days.
Yeah.
But I was Mr. No Problem. I say, I like to serve what people wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to draw the line. They're paying for it. So I'm not going to say no. So I think that helped us to grow in the beginning. Now you can go any restaurant in Sacramento, maybe in California, they have barbecue, tuna, pepper paint, all these roll with sauces. I never seen that when we opened the restaurant back then.
Mm.
Now we have 42 head chefs open their own too.
Wow.
So you can find our special rolls, pepper paint, everything everywhere now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to think, we lose our chef again, but now I feel like we're launching them, right? So get more sushi population to grow. So I'm excited about every time they said, I'm opening a new restaurant. Let's do it.
So let's say if Mikuni is hiring a chef, are you guys looking for someone who has a lot of like experience doing sushi, or this is something kind of training that they can go through and they can become really good at that?
So a lot of people who has experience, they're very hard-headed. This is the only way. You can't do it that way. For them to work for us, they have to be very flexible, very open-minded. And before, I used to spend hours explaining, training, why they get paid more, or when do they get raised. I was wasting so much. I mean, I shouldn't say wasting, but I did spend a lot of time. So me and the executive chef, we created over 200 pages of a PowerPoint, and then we did that level system. We have a 12 different level system. So every 6 months, they get to meet me for 20 minutes. So we do a skill test, written tests, and if they have a good performance appraisal, they get to the next level, and then it's like karate, right? All
Mm-hmm.
different levels, and they get paid more, and percentage of tips goes up more, and so they have goal for them every 6 months. If they want to get to the next level, they can do better things, and if they want to stay where they are, you're welcome to stay where they are. So that's how we start doing that. So if they have any question, they can go to the executive chef, and now we have a PowerPoint they can look at.
Yeah, yeah. So when you guys are hiring people that you want to come join your team, are there certain top things that you look for? What are like more important things than just their track record, their experience?
I don't do hiring, firing anymore.
Okay.
We have a HR department
Mm-hmm.
director, and every restaurant locations we have HR manager.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that, and we'll hire anybody who wants to do it, and then they can see if they like to do that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Another topic that I kind of want to touch on is AI. I don't know how much AI plays a role in the business that you're running, but it's been changing a lot of industries. And I can even see just recently there's some commencement speeches in the universities, and a well-known CEO comes out and says something like, hey, we're progressing in AI, and a bunch of students are just booing uh, the speech
Really?
because of
Wow.
AI. And it happens over and over. And I'm just kind of wondering, why is that? But then I hear that for especially young people who are getting their education, they have this uncertainty about, is this job that I'm training for, school that I'm doing for specific industry, if tomorrow it's going to be gone because AI is taking over. What is your take on AI and where everything's headed?
I mean, I'm not smart enough again. So my son is into those things. So he is working with those companies, and he's at Chicago right now doing the food show. So he learned about more AIs and stuff. But for me, I mean, grandkids, they're not gonna learn how to drive because everything's self-driving. I mean, a lot of things will change. Like
Mm-hmm.
iPhone last 10 years. I don't know how much helped our business at the same time take a lot of different things out of our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have to live with it, and I'm ready. I'll be left out because I'm getting too old now for this. but but anything I can do, I'll do my best to learn and work with it. I mean, anything that we cannot control, I don't worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about our church, right? Less than 1% Christian in Japan. And our church is so small and it's shrinking because all the people are passing away, right? And we don't have a pastor because my dad has Alzheimer's. That's 5 years ago.
Mm.
So I don't know what's going to happen to our church. And then I was reading about Noah's Ark, and God is so detailed about what kind of wood and how size, everything all together. Yet I said, "Where's the steering wheel?" It didn't mention. I said, I mean, where do you go? Then somebody told me, "Hey, you don't need a steering wheel. Just you have to let God takes everywhere He believes you have to go." I said, "Oh, that's it."
Wow.
So about our church too, I said, you know what? I'm gonna let God do all the work again. So why do I stress out? So I don't stress out, but I said, you know what? We do our best. So anything in the future too, with the AI, we will know everything.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
No, you're right.
And then we can't control what's going to happen in the
Mm-hmm.
future. So I'll be like Noah's Ark. Okay, where are we going?
Taro, when you look back at your life, is there maybe a story that you can share, something that was pivotal in your life where it kind of helped you become who you are?
There is a lot. Again, it's a small thing here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the guy who gave us some money, right? I mean, we're paying $100 a month back on $400,000 debt. You know how long it will take to pay him back?
I gotta do the
Never,
math.
right? Never. So, yeah, I mean, late 90s, finally we took off. So we borrowed money to pay him back $700,000 back because yen to dollar difference too. And then I asked him, can you come and see what you have done for us and for my family, for the community? And then I want to really make sushi for him. But he said, well, I'm busy right now. I said, okay, that's fine. So I wrote the first book. I mentioned his name. I was so proud to show him. I want to show him so he can be so proud of me, right? I went to Japan, and then his wife came out. He said, oh, he just passed away. I said, oh, he didn't even see what he has done because we didn't have an email, nothing. I didn't send him any picture. He didn't see anything about Mikuni. He never ate my sushi either. So that's when I said, okay, it's I'm gonna pay it forward. I didn't get to do anything back to him.
Mm.
So from now on, I'm not gonna ask for a return. If I'm gonna help, I have to help without expecting any return. So that was another thing we start doing the charitable organization. I always look for somebody who can never pay us back. I don't want to have business transaction. If we help you, you help me. I can't stand it. So yeah, that was another learning I had was
Yeah, that's
you cannot, expect anything.
so. Going back to that story that you said when he lent you guys the $300,000. At which stage was the restaurant at where you said that you ran out of that money?
Oh, right away. First $300,000 right away. And then when I was 21, so 4 years later, we were out completely. For example, like we moved 10 times looking for cheaper rent. And I said, Dad, I got to go to Sierra College. One semester count as 1 year so I can graduate early high school.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I think we're almost become homeless because we didn't pay for 6 months in rent. I was renting the gentleman's house who gave us the money.
Wow.
He bought the house in Roseville. And then $350 a month we couldn't pay. So I don't know. That's the time. The funny thing about Sierra College, Mikuni ended up raising $200,000 for new housing at the Sierra College.
Wow.
And I spoke at their graduation last 2 weeks ago, and then I'm speaking again next week. I'm the guy who didn't even graduate. I have no education. I'm telling them, encouraging them. That's crazy too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
go back to
amazing.
your question. I don't think I answered your question, but
My question was, yeah, I just kind of want to know which stage were you at when
You're talking about
when
finance,
finance,
financially.
yeah, because it's interesting that most people, when they go through something like that, they would say, well, I guess it's not meant to be, it's just not going to work out,
I see.
or I was just kind of wondering if there was something that was just needed to be corrected in order for the restaurant to go in the right path.
Yeah. So 5 years we struggle. We didn't make it. So when I was 23, that's when everything started clicking a little by little. Then my dad had a dream
Mm-hmm.
and then just took off. I can't point what exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a little here, a little there, and then sushi became popular too.
Mm.
If sushi didn't become popular, maybe it's not working, but I thank God for that too. Now I used to go like my kids' elementary school, high school to do a sushi demonstration, right?
Oh, that's fun.
So they used to say, "Ew, that's gross." My parents don't told me not to eat it, right? Back in the days. But now if I go, even third grade or fourth grade, can you make incredible rolls? There's no way. In high school, too, I end up graduating from Oakmont High School. I went 3 schools, but I couldn't make anybody eat there, right? But they had a sushi club about 10 years ago. They invite me to speak.
Wow.
Like 70 plus kids with a Mikuni shirt on. I cried. I said, wow, this is crazy.
That's
It's
awesome.
real.
Yeah, my kids, I have a 12-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter, and they absolutely love sushi.
They're expensive.
Because when I was like younger,
Yeah.
I did not understand what sushi was. I was like, "What is that?" And of course, we the first sushi that I ever tried was not the kind of sushi that
Right.
is at Mikuni. It's like store bought
Right.
in the black, what was it, seaweed or. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, that's what sushi is. Never mind. But then, like right now, there's just so many different options and they're just delicious. Taro, another question. When you hear the word legacy, what comes to your mind?
Are you talking about me
Yeah.
I really don't care about sorry about
No, go
legacy
ahead, go ahead.
because I don't have much time left on this earth. And yeah, for me, they'll forget about me eventually. I don't need to leave any legacy. I want to make sure, you know, keep continuing to have faith in God or the family and move on to next. Because I see my dad having an Alzheimer. I visit him every week.
How old is your dad?
He's only 83.
Wow.
But every morning, whether he's doing the push-ups or reading the Bible every time I go. And he's very, very thankful. And he used to read a lot of books. I know now reading books is not going to help me to prevent. But anyway, now he has only one Bible, 3 hats, couple shoes, and then one clothes because he packages every morning ready to go home. I don't know where he's going. Yeah, but I see that. I said, that's my future. Eventually, I might not know anybody, and I'll be very simple life, just praising God, and I might not remember my family members anyway. So I really don't care about legacy much. I'm just a part of God's plan and small instrument. That's good enough for me.
It's very interesting you answered like this because one time a few years ago I was at an event and Mike Tyson was there, and I asked kind of similar question to Mike Tyson. I said, you know, what do you want to be remembered for, And he's like, it's like, I don't care. It's like I'm just passing through,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was like, wow, it's a different Mike Tyson that
Oh yeah,
I
we
saw him
imagine, right? Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So far in life, when you look back, have you pretty much accomplished and done everything that you wanted, or is there some kind of still mountain ahead of you?
Well, chief dreaming officer, I get the dream, so I'm not
What's the
done
next
yet.
big dream?
I'm not done yet. I don't know if you heard about acquisition of a Mikuni.
I heard, I don't know the details, whatever, if you want to chime on that.
Me, I always get in trouble sharing too much,
Okay.
but that too. Like a couple of years ago, my CEO, they worked so hard for so many years, 30 some years. They need to retire sooner or later, right? And then they have so much pressure and everything too. So I start praying to God, show me the door that I can open if we can sell for this much money and still I have fun being here and not losing control or losing any of the employees or teammates that we have. So I lay out so many conditions to God. If you answer all these questions, I'll take as a yes. And then we met the gentleman not too long ago, and he said, I'm interested in buying. I said, sure, right? And then he went back to Japan, and he sent us offer that we couldn't refuse. So I said, what's the catch? I mean, it's a Japanese company, so you have to be here. You have to keep running. I said, okay, what else? Well, I'm a dreamer. I said, I'm a dreamer too, right? You can't dream bigger than me. I have a new dream called 50-50. Why not have 50 businesses by 50th anniversary of Mikuni? I share with them, right? He said, why only 50? Can we do 100? I said, wait, what's going on here? And he sent us, business class tickets last year, April 2nd. Can you come to Japan so you can sign the paperwork? I said, okay. So just to let you know, 85 to April 2nd, our family came to the United States. I signed last April 2nd, which is 40 years exactly later from Japan, right? Wow. I'm in Japan signing the paper. I said, do you think it's my plan or that was his plan, right? So after that, of course, it's been a year now. We have a lot of adjustment to make. So we haven't really moved forward yet.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they already announced it, but the founder has, I think, 6 months to live because of the cancer.
Wow.
So I was able to meet him on the birthday. I'm planning to go there September if he's still there. I love to share God's love because his book is all about luck.
Oh.
It's all about luck and create your own luck. But now he's dying. Where's your luck now, right? Running out of luck? It's all God's plan, right? So I think God has given me a chance to share God's love with him too. So I'm excited about it.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Taro, last question. When you look at what's happening right now in the world, there are a lot of people who are worried. There's so many different things changing, wars, and but you seem, you have this joy. Are you at all concerned about the events taking place or where the world is headed, or you just completely trust that God has everything in his hands?
Well, that too, of course. God already has plan for everything. But I mean, if I can change, let's say if I go out there and stop the war, why not? I do it. But I don't think I can. Can you?
No. No.
So if I cannot, then why do I worry, right? I think I'm going to focus on loving the neighbors first. If we all do that, I don't think we're going to have a war, right? So we start from me, God and me, and then my family, my neighbor, our community.
Yes.
I think that's where everything starts. So before I worry, I ask God, what do I have to do next? Yeah, that's pretty much my answer. Sorry.
No, that's
and
a
I'm
great
not smart
answer.
enough to know really what's really going to, happen. What can I do to change the world? I don't know. I have too many unknowns, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. I see there are people who also cannot do anything about it, but they are so consumed with all this negativity that it is affecting their life, their
Yeah, I
relationships.
just want to use that energy to something positive,
There
something
you
else
go.
instead.
There
If
you
you
go.
cannot change it,
That's
and then I just can't. I always believe love over hate anyway.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
I don't have anybody that I hate. I look for somebody that I can hate, but I don't have anybody. Maybe I have to ask somebody to forgive me, but I don't have anybody to forgive either. It's crazy.
That's a very great way to live. That's awesome. Well, Taro, thank you so much for
Thank
this. This was amazing. That was a fast hour. I really appreciate it. God bless you, your family,
Yes,
everything
man.
that you do. It was amazing having this conversation.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you've made it this far and want to support what we're doing, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are committed to making each episode better than the last. If you like this video, here's another one for you to watch. I'll see you in the next one.